shouldn't be afraid of failing. It's like just try, and even if you run straight into a wall, you just look away and continue in another direction.
You never hear about the tough moments and behind all the victories. So I think that's a really cool concept that you have, to share those stories as well.
My name is Eva Carey. What else? I have been singing and modeling in Singapore. I just came back to Stockholm.
I've been to this event before, so this is my second time. Last time was really great.
I'm grown up in a family company, so I know nothing but building companies. It's really something that's been part of my life since I was a baby. And since our family company is BabyBjörn, I started packing potties or bibs when I was like 6 years old, and all the summer vacations, especially in the late 80s, we grew so much. So, and we started to sell products to Japan, and where we have our logistics center. The people wanted to go on vacation in July, and at the industry semester, the vacation we have here in Sweden. So then, we kids had to go down and pack dad's potties.
All right. So you told me a little bit about that you're very passionate about soccer, and today it's a lot of entrepreneurs know that we work 24/7 and it's always on the clock. But how was it for you to grow up with father that run the company at that time?
It was really good because he never forced us to be a part of the company, and he actually always said, and my mother too, that we should educate ourselves in whatever we were interested in. And the thing he pushed, or both parents pushed the most, was that we should travel and learn languages and to see other places on earth. So I actually, from I was 12, I was an exchange student for 3 weeks in the summertime in England. 14, I was in England a few weeks in the summertime. 12 and 13 I was in England. 14 I was in Germany for the summer. And 16 I went a year as an exchange student to Chicago in the States. And 19 I went to France for 8 months, and 20 I went to Germany, and then I started travel with my boyfriend and husband today. We went to Spain, and then we've been biking over the Andes twice in South America. So I speak German, French, and Spanish, and English. Not good, but I like to travel a lot, and I think it's really giving me the insight that it's so important to understand other cultures, and that's like in business, to understand your customers.
So you touched upon it, but how do you think those early travels influence your view on culture and setting up businesses in a new country?
Well, I really learned that I'm not the center of the world early, and that it's exciting to be part of somebody else's world. And I think that's super important to realize that you are, even though you make products for yourself, usually it's something like you want or you need, your customers have other opinions, and you need to really get to know them. And so I actually studied social anthropology at the university, and philosophy and languages, and just handpicked all the things I thought was fun. And my dad was like, social anthropology, how could you study that? That's like such a waste. And then when I was done with university, he said like, well, Lisa, like to communicate. Can't you just we have like the best products on earth. We have these great BabyBjörn products, and nobody knows about us. Can't you just tell the parents that we exist? So I went to visit different editorial offices in Stockholm, and everybody wrote about our mission. And then he said, "Oh, but you should go to other countries and tell about do the same thing." So for 10 years I was just traveling the world storytelling, and then he was like, "Oh, everybody should have a social anthropologist in their office." So now he's really changed his mind. That is, and I think it's important, like to have engineers in every company, but also to have people that like to communicate and to really look into the customers' needs and get those two groups together.
You told us a little bit about the early summers you helped in and packing and so on, but that conversation after university and your father asking you, "Okay, Lisa, please help us. We have an amazing product and we really want to make it work. Can you come?" How did that specific conversation go on?
Well, I said, like, no way I'm going to work for you. No way that I'm going to work for the family company. I really wanted to continue traveling and actually, more being a journalist than being on the other side. But since he's a strong leader, he could see what I was good at. And that was great. I had really a good time traveling around the world. I was like holding press conferences in Japan, and I went to all these editorial offices all around the world, and had also press conferences in Sweden, having journalists from all over to come. I remember he asked me, and I thought, no, and then I don't know how I ended up working full time.
So something magic happened between he asked you and then you didn't want to and you joined.
Well, now I remember he actually said, "Well, you don't need to work full time here. You can just if you get something into Vi Föräldrar, which was the biggest Swedish parental magazine at that time, you get like 5,000 crowns or whatever it was. And then if you get something into Expressen, you get 10,000 crowns. And so I went there and I talked about our products, and they always wrote, something. So I made so much money. He's like, "Oh, we can't, we can't pay you like this. It's not fair to the others. We have to give you a fixed salary." So suddenly I was on the payroll. And then I did that for 10 years, and I really enjoyed it. And I learned so much. So that was great.
That's a smart way of getting you hooked.
Yeah.
You start with something small, and then suddenly you're all in. So you were the communication manager, and you were part of taking the business from 20 million to 240 million in turnover in Swedish krona.
Yeah, and today it's 420 million crowns.
Even more.
Yeah, so it was really the hockey stick, and he had been 61, and that was like 91. We came with the new baby carrier, and I started full time 94, and we only had a turnover of 20 million crowns at that time, and it was really the beginning of the hockey stick.
And the guys that are entrepreneurs and have written business plans, that's usually what you're striving for and are trying to achieve. But here we have someone that actually did it, and it's really rare. So tell us a little bit about, how that came to happen. What was the strategy that you put in place?
I know my dad. He said, like, "I'm so tired of being this sales guy. After 30 years." I know we have great products, and I know the customer love them, but the problem is the middlemen, the stores, the retailers. when I come there, they like, no, we don't want to buy your products. They're too expensive. Why should we sell a product like a potty or a toilet trainer for 240 crowns when we can sell a toilet trainer for 24 crowns? And it's like, well, because it's better for the customer, it's better for you have better marginals, and it's better for the parents because it's a quality product, it lasts. And he was so tired to try to explain this for so many, first for his salespeople, and then to the stores, and then to the parents, and then the babies are the end customer that's actually sitting on the potty, So that's why he got this vision, like, if I could get the parents to go into the stores and ask for BabyBjörn products, and have the retailers call me and say, I want to sell your products. So he said, can't you just, have the parents love our products and go to the stores and ask for a BabyBjörn product? So that's how we succeeded. We actually, put so much focus from that on the journalists. And, I was storytelling before I even knew what storytelling was, telling about our mission to make the everyday life easier for parents. And the journalists, were so tired of companies coming in with these other salesmen, like, oh, if you don't write that we're the best, we're not gonna put any ads in your magazine, threatening. Wow. Or engineers, like, telling about every single little material. And the journalists got so tired about it. So what I did was actually talking much more about how important it is for small children to bond with their parents, and that with our baby carriers, the fathers could also be proud to walk around with their babies, and that it's important for a 2-year-old to enjoy sitting on a potty, like, we sit on the toilet for a long time and read papers, or nowadays look at our iPhones. And, how important it is to enjoy going to the bathroom instead of just like, go sit there and poop, That's, it would be awful if somebody did that for us. So I think it's like, to understand your customer, which is a baby or a toddler. Your character is more or less done when you're 4 years old, and then you can't do much about it. So we realized our customers those years are so important. First, you bond with your parents, which probably can affect your personality for the rest of your life. I think that if you bond really well with both parents and get a lot of love the first year, you probably can't become a Hitler, if you really get that love the first year of your life. And it's great if you can enjoy and you're going to the bathroom. And also we sell a lot of bibs and spoons and plates and stuff for the kitchen. And it's also really important to enjoy dinner and eat, and we encourage parents to eat together with the kids and let the kids eat themselves. And it was actually thanks to me that my dad came up with the plastic bib. Before, they were all textile. And I'm born 67, and 69, when I was 2 years old, he was like, Lisa, it's so messy, all the food is on the floor, why don't I make something that, she can re-eat the food. So that's my best point in my... I should put it in my CV.
You should. So then ProSk8 come about.
Yeah, and actually it was really important, defining moment that this inventor, Beckett Colon, that he wrote a thank you email after the meeting, which was super nice. And he said, thank you to everyone. Like, thank you for coming. If you want any more information, please contact me. And then I think he called me or we met by coincidence again in that network. and at that time I had met another inventor and asked him if we should start a bicycle company, and to make everybody bike all trips that are like less than 50 minutes, like to save the planet. And then when I met Beckett again, he was like, but there's so much innovation in bikes. There are so many companies, product development companies in bicycling. It's a huge product. I mean, how are you going to succeed with being like the best product development company in bikes? In skateboarding, there are no product development companies, and the skateboard looks the same as 30 years ago. And since I had that experience with even thinking of how bad the skateboards are, I actually went back to that bicycle and said, well, I actually find another better product. Is it okay that I don't start this? And he was like, yeah, that's great. I will already have like 5 other companies. So he was just released. He's like, yeah, you can go with that other entrepreneur. It's okay. So I called back to Beckett and said, well, maybe I could, write your brand book, or we could do some collaboration. And he made me the president of the company.
Wow, I think that's a great example of when a moment can really change everything,
Yeah.
and direction in your life. So the company is being described as a rebel company in an old industry. And what are you doing, and what are you doing differently from everyone else?
Yeah, that's kind of funny, because we're really the rebels in the rebellious skateboard world, and that's because we're a skateboard technology company. We are really trying to give the skaters a better skateboarding experience with quality and safety and functionality, and which the skater is like, that's so stupid, it will never work. It's such a trash culture. We want the skateboards to ruin or the shoes or everything. It's such a, and we want, it's all about being cool and trashing products, and also, rather have nude ladies or whatever on the decks. It's all about the graphics. And it was actually funny that Beckett and we went to ASR, a trade show in San Diego, and we had t-shirts that said, fuck the graphics, go for the innovation. And then we realized when we were there that everybody there was into the graphics and the graphical design, and we're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have these t-shirts. Or they were skateboarding companies that were like, hey, oops. It's like, how does this work?
Actually, it goes the other side. It flips the other way, actually.
Thank you. Like this. Thank you. That's nice. So they, or they were skateboarding companies that were like, get out of here, with your patent and technology. We want to sell as many decks as possible. They should. That's what we live on. That you ruin a deck in 2 weeks and you have to buy a new one.
I'm sorry, 2 weeks?
Yeah, actually, it's wood that you press in pavement. You have speed, and so like for every trick you make, you wear down the products. And it depends how you skate, but for some kids they can have a deck for half a year, but there are professionals that actually change their deck under one photo session, and they're not happy with the pop after 2 hours. They pick up a new deck, and you take Canadian maple, send it to China, make all the decks in the same factories, and then just print different graphics, and depend on how much marketing you put into the product, then it's more expensive or less expensive. and then you send it to Europe, and we trash the product in 2 weeks and buy a new deck. So that's why I really enjoy the tip technology, because then you can replace, we say, recharge the pop of the deck. So
And you told me that there's a high demand in an unexpected country, and you have production in another country, and suddenly you need to set up a factory in this other country. Tell us a little bit about that.
yes, so like everybody else, we started to do the mass production in one certain area in China where they're specialized in skateboards, and that works out well. But we realized if we want to do customized decks, like that the kids can choose their own graphics and we can customize them, we need to have a factory in Sweden for Europe, one in the States for North America, and in Brazil for South America. So we started to talk about that at the same time as we, thanks to Fagner, who is here tonight, give him an applause! So Fagner Pereira, his best friend is, two of his friends are the best skaters in Brazil, and they just love our products, and they skate so much, and they're so active in social media, and we haven't done any marketing, or it's just that they are riding it. We have a huge demand in Brazil now, and we don't have a factory there yet. So we're kind of panicking. We have to get, decks over to Brazil as soon as possible. And Fagner says that he could probably sell them in a week or two, like 10,000 decks. So if that's true, then we're gonna be quite successful in Brazil when we put up our factory there. So 1 month ago, we managed to employ our number one choice of president for the whole group, and that's an American guy, Glenn Bromwich, and really well known in the industry, and he's in San Clemente in California. So the first thing we did was send him down to Brazil, and thanks to Fagner, we found a factory that we can buy, and then get our own production up there, hopefully already this fall.
All right, wow, that's one way to really enter a new market fast. Tell us about one of the worst days in your life.
I think it's been quite a hell all the time with financing, because we're a product development company, and we feel that our products are so ingenious, so that they're gonna be success all over the world at the same time, and we're just so afraid that we get the hit, like everybody wants our product at the same time, and that we can't supply. So it feels like we've been working now the last 5 years with, financing the company to be able to buy these robots that cost almost $1 million each, so we can supply the customized decks to the kids, and we are so convinced it's going to be such a huge success. And we can't stop kids from Brazil or from US or from Germany or wherever to order the products, and we need to do that at the same time. So it's really been tough to learn the financing world.
I talked to your colleagues in the first break, and one thing they said was they really admired you, and they talked about your determination, and I could very much relate to sending emails 2, 3 in the morning to your team members. I do that too. But what motivates you?
I can't even answer that question, because it's comes from the core of myself. It's like I told somebody, I feel like Miss Moneypenny in the last Bond movie. It's like, I'm not leaving till this job is done. It's like a mission. And but I love it that it's about skateboarding, because it's actually to have kids to skateboard, which I think is great for them, for their balance and motoric, but also for their self-confidence. So I think I do it because if I myself was 5, I would skate. So I want to give the kids that. And of course, since we're a team, we are all, these guys wouldn't be with me if they were not as passionate. It's like you have a certain mindset, and it's like, we have to do this. Nothing can stop us. It's like, we're on a mission.
So what is your mission?
To improve the world. I think we did that with BabyBjörn, having more parents bond with their kids, and I think we're going to improve the world by having more kids skateboard. Especially if you have ADHD, you are, so frustrated, you're 14 and the adults don't understand you, and I think it's a great outlet. And actually that's why Beckett, the founder of the company, started this. He said skateboarding saved his life. He has ADHD, and he wants to give skateboarding to all the kids around the world. So it's we're on a mission.
All right. Being an entrepreneur and being in your position also means that you need to confront your own limitations and your fear. How do you deal with dealing with fear?
Yeah, I think it's really important to realize that failing is not the end of the world. And I have a great example of my colleague at BabyBjörn, Annika Sander, the peer manager. She went to New York, and she's like, oh, I have the most important meetings with journalists in New York, I have to go there and there, And she woke up in the morning and they said on the radio, all non-essential people, please stay at home. And she's like, I'm super essential, I have to go to meet the journalist. And she's like, oh, maybe they mean like firemen, or because it was snow chaos. And she's like, I'm a non-essential person. Like, I can't even get out of the door. They don't think it's important that I promote these potties and baby carriers. And so always when I'm about to have a breakdown, I think I'm a non-essential person. This is not important. Just let go, when you can't supply products, or there's some shipment that got lost or whatever. It's not important. That's how I think. This is not important to pull myself down.
What would you say you're most proud of?
Well, I think I'm very proud of, wanting to improve the world and believing that I actually can, together with good people, change the world. I think a lot of people think that they're not important, but I really have the feeling that I am important, and Fagner, Jill, Beckett, and Glenn, we're all important, and what we are doing is actually, even if it's only one child that you can save, it's at least you're doing something good with your life. So I'm proud of that.
And where do you get your inspiration from?
Probably because I myself think it's fun to do action sports. I want to give that to other people, and it's great nowadays because you see action sports on television everywhere. X Games is huge, and I think it's a bit, running a company is like skateboarding, that you fall, you fail, it hurts, you get smashed, and then you stand up again, and when you skateboard, after a while you actually succeed, and you can do these tricks, and you can enjoy, succeeding. And I think it's the same with running a business. It's so hard. You fail all the time. You smash, but then one day, people are suddenly coming to you and it's like, oh, that's great, you're so successful. It's like, oh, am I? Oh, thank you. It's like so it's like skateboarding, building a business.
Yeah, it's not really success overnight. It's years and years and years and long nights of hard work behind it, and then suddenly, boom, you get the big success. But so, can you please share a moment where you experienced failure, you picked yourself up, and what learnings you got from that?
I think it's really great to be two people, that you find a partner. Like Beckett and I, we have psychological breakdowns om vartannat. How do you say that? He has, taking turns. So like when he has it most of the time, and then when I have my period, then he has to shape up for a week. So it's like both of you can't. It's kind of like being married. Like when you freak out over your kids, the other one has to be like, oh, okay, mom is not in a good mood now. The other one takes over. And I think so it's okay, like it's human to have your ups and downs all the time. And I guess the experience for me growing up in such an environment where it was always problems with BabyBjörn. It was like, oh, we're gonna launch this product. We're going to the trade show. We paid so much money to get all these people there, and we don't have the product. It's like, what do we do? And my mother is the most creative person on earth. So, like 1 year, it was huge, the Cologne trade show. And she came up with the idea, we make a small room, and we only have a few people invited, like selected people who can see the sample of the product that is coming, and they made that like a big thing because we didn't have the product there. So it's like a pre-launch of the product coming in a few months, and nobody realized that it was for us such a disaster that we didn't have the real product in place, but we made something exciting about it.
What do you think categorizes a great entrepreneur?
To be over-optimistic, that you always see a solution of everything, that you don't put yourself down. I think it's really important to not be ashamed of yourself. I mean, it's so easy to think, oh, God, this has taken so long, or all these investors are saying no, or these people don't like our products, or whatever. It's so easy to put yourself down, and I think actually those who succeed are those that don't let somebody else put you down. You have your mission, and you just continue, and you're positive and optimistic.
Okay, so optimistic. All right, so there you have it. Create a global product for the everyday life of the consumer, and focus on building an amazing team. Right. I think that's all for now. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for coming. Please make sure to grab something more to drink, mingle, meet with each other, have a great time, and we're looking forward to seeing you here again. Thank you so much.